Republicans are speaking out against a global treaty the World Health Organization is getting. Republicans are speaking out against a global treaty the World Health Organization is getting set to finalize. GOP lawmakers concerned the treaty will undermine U.S. sovereignty and push abortion as mandatory health care during another potential pandemic. We had a chance to sit down with the CEO of Family Research Council, Tony Perkins, to discuss. Tony Perkins, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. Good to be with you.
Good to have you, Tony. Tony, you've recently been speaking out about this, global treaty that the World Health Organization is drafting to kind of take over and rebuild infrastructure surrounding future pandemics. What concerns do you have about
this? Is a global power grab. It is a treaty in its effect, but it's been called an agreement. Therefore, it bypasses the Senate the U.S. Senate having to ratify. So this would bind member states to a list of issues that have absolutely nothing to do with preparing for or dealing with a pandemic. Top of the list of concerns for us would be, number one, it really pushes the issue of abortion. It makes abortion mandatory health care in terms of if there's a pandemic, every effort has to be made to ensure that abortion is available. The part of the issue is what determines a healthcare crisis or a pandemic. It could be any number of things according to this protocol. The other issue that is very alarming is the censorship element, to where the member states are encouraged or told to clamp down on voices that would be questioning the approach to the pandemic. Very much what we saw here in the United States during COVID-19, which is now being litigated in court out of Missouri and Louisiana, challenging the Biden administration, where they leaned on social media platforms to basically trample upon the First Amendment.
Tony, there are a lot of concerns about the World Health Organization's initial response and some of the things that they pushed back on. So do we have to kind of look back at history?
We should look back at history. We should look back and look at their failed response. The diagnosis was off, the recommended protocols were off, but yet they want to cement that into a treaty, again, in effect, a treaty that would bind all member states. I mean, look, they covered for the Chinese Communist Party. They first were saying, well, this isn't transmitted human to human. When then President Trump wanted to shut down travel from affected regions, the WHO, raised a stink about that. Well, we were absolutely on target. And then we look at what they recommended, the mask, the vaccines, all of these things, which now science is saying wasn't so good. The lockdowns. We are still uncovering the mental and physical effects of the COVID response, and they want more power to do the same thing again.
Tony, what concerns does this raise when it comes to America's sovereignty?
It's a huge issue when it comes to sovereignty, because we would essentially surrender our ability at the local level to make decisions. I mean, you think back at how even the states were a little bit different. Some states, blue states, cracking down on churches and families. I mean, I remember even during the COVID, my daughter got married, and we could not have a wedding at our home with more than 9 people because of restrictions put in place by Democratic governors. So just think of that being given to global bureaucrats who are unaccountable, how draconian their approach to this could be. And again, we don't have to speculate. We simply look back. There's been no evidence to suggest that they've evaluated the failed approach that they took and that they want to take a different approach.
Tony Perkins, thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve.